G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the southeast side of the map, playing in the colour pink as the Abbasid dynasty, we've got Chuck Maurice. And on the northwest side of the map, in the colour orange, playing as the Mongols, it's Mo. Hold on, I gotta give him credit where credit is due. It's not Mo, it's Mo. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're here on Hillandale. We're watching Moo play up against Chuck Maurice. I was, before the game starts, I always like to just practice introducing the players so I know how I'm going to pronounce their names. And I was introducing Chuck Maurice. I'm like, you know what kind of name that sounds like? It sounds like somebody from The Bachelor. You ever watch The Bachelor? I remember back when I was younger, I used to watch The Bachelor a lot. I used to watch a lot of reality TV. You know, when you're 14, 15, 16 and you're sitting at home there with mum and you got no choice but to watch reality TV. That's it. Anyway, I was introducing him. I was like, this is Chuck Maurice and he's our bachelor. And what does he do? He's probably a dentist or something. I remember there was that. There's always some good memes that come out of The Bachelor. But anyway, look, we're not here to talk about The Bachelor. We're not here to talk about The Bachelorette. We're here to talk about Age of Empires because it is time for us to witness some early aggression. We've got Moo, who in the last game that we saw of this matchup, we had a Mongol player who made the wise decision of avoiding Dark Age aggression. And the reason why is because the Abbasid dynasty have the ability to go into the military wing. And the military wing does a very effective job at dealing with that early aggression. 2 archers, 2 spearmen, means that you're able to deny out any of those spears from really doing too much damage to you. And if they go for an outpost, you've always got the option of just throwing down a battering ram because you don't have to drop the blacksmith, you don't have to research that siege engineering, you can just drop it immediately. It makes it very easy to deal with any kind of threat. So I'm curious exactly how Moo is going to look to play this differently from your standard player of the Mongol variety, because this is quite a common strategy. Just in this matchup recently, it has fallen off. So we'll ride on board with Chuck as he marches his scout out to the middle of the map and spots the incoming impending doom. And right as the age up comes through, he's going to be able to say to himself, all right, well, it's time for us to click that military wing, as you would be expecting. Now, what's interesting is that we've got the Khan that's attacking the mining camp. He's just going to leave this mining camp here for the moment. He's not going to look to delete it, because one of the things that players will look to do is delete it, so he will drop off and then look to delete. But he's not going to do that. Instead, going to continue to collect gold. He's up to 32 gold. He needs 35 for the upgrade. And there's the... Okay, look at that beautiful timing. Wonderfully done right there by Chuck Maurice, our bachelor for today. It is beautiful. I'm going to call him the bachelor from now on, Chuck Maurice. That's a really, like... I feel like Chuck... If your name is Chuck, it's basically like a Chad name, right? Like Chuck, Chad, Tanner. These guys are all hanging out down by the river in Chuck's dad's boat. What is this video? Sorry. Anyway, it's a bit of an interesting cast. We move on. Let's ride on board with Moo, and we'll think about Chuck's dad's boat a little bit later. What kind of boat do you reckon Chuck's dad's got? I reckon he's got one of those, like, it's, you know the trick boats that you can get? I call them trick boats. It's like a speed boat, but it's made, like, it can do the waves. It's I think they use it for wakeboarding. It's a very special type of boat. But anyway, that's the type of boat he's got. So they love to go out there, Chuck. Chuck and the gang. Anyway, outpost is up. Interestingly, just goes for the 1 outpost. Doesn't look to go into any more than that. And there's quite a few spears out, 5 spears. So not going to stop at 4. Going to add in that little extra one. But the Ville's going to head back. So he doesn't look to go any more than just this single outpost, which I find a bit interesting. But we've got the military wing about to pop here. See, he could look to try and bring that villager down here, throw down an outpost here, or look to try and come in around the back. I guess he's just fearful of the response from the military wing. Spears coming in. He's going to have to back these guys out. The archers are here, ready to do some damage. But speaking of doing damage, have a look at this. Villagers evacuating the berries, at least evacuating that front one and heading back on to that next one. And they march out the back. He's doing a really good job of just checking in with his opponent, seeing what is up. But I do suspect we'll have a second TC on the way shortly. And look at that. Immediate response from Chuck. It is the Giga Chad response. He throws down the battering ram straight away. He'll very quickly deal with this outpost, and this attack will be foiled. It will be over. It will be very, very quick. We'll check back in with Moo and see how he's doing on that west side of the map, as it looks like we've got the deer stones beginning to come down. Not really racing to get these guys up. Normally you see Mongol players with 6, 7, 8 villagers throwing down those deer stones, but not today. Instead, just going to opt for a slow, steady 4 villagers. The reason why I bring that up is because that means that you've got extra villagers free to do something else. And there's a compounding factor here, because number 1, the more villagers you have on the deer stones, then the less villagers you've got gathering resources. But at the same time, the faster you're going to age up, which means the faster you're going to have access to spend those resources, and there's going to be less of them. So there's two factors here. And essentially what this means is the longer that you're aging up, or the fewer villagers you have, the more resources you're going to have in that period. We can see he's quite heavy on wood here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a second town center, especially up against a civilization like the Abbasids. But now, I'm telling you what, I bet he wishes these spearmen right over here, but it looks like the outpost is going to go down so quickly, it's not even going to matter. And you can see a third spearman has joined the fray as well for Chuck. Right now, he's going to begin pushing out of his base, and it looks like the aggression will head over towards the side of Mu. So we've got the correct response coming out from Chuck today. It's wonderful to witness when players just have got all the tools at their disposal and they actually use them correctly. So it's wonderful to see because that is indeed the correct response here. But we now begin to see that Khan coming through. He's looking to try and scout out exactly what's happening. Beautiful little wall. There's always the opportunity to go for a chop through on that backside, but it looks like a second TC is going to be coming through for Chuck. Now keep in mind that he's going to have to pay full price for this bad boy. Didn't go for the Eco Wing, doesn't have access to Fertile Crescent, but does have a Golden Age Tier 1 activated. That is for sure. Love that sound. That is a great sound to hear. But you know what sound isn't good? When it gets disconnected and then reconnected and disconnect. When you're losing buildings, but you're rebuilding them at the same time. It's it throws you off. It throws you off. All right, little attempt right here by Chuck to try and find his way into the Mongol base. Doesn't have a lot of information about where his opponent is. The town center obviously nested away just next to this forest. Khan firing down slowly at the battering ram. He's looking for a way through here. Just at the moment, working his way around that top side. Comes out to the gold. He knows where that is, but the Gur's obviously long gone here. Now the battering ram going to make its way down towards this top side. Spearman going to come out. The bald spearman, look at him go. I see 3 of the bald spearmen, and one of them is a woman. So it turns out all the Mongols are bald, except for the women, who are not bald. There you go. Resource count looking good for Mu here. He drops the second TC down. About 7 minutes. Not a bad little timing here when you consider the fact he's gone into this early aggression. And one thing to note, these deer stones are moving very quickly. So I suspect he has picked up the upgrade. I think it's at the Uvu? Yeah, the upgrade that's down here. So it is the movement speed for your buildings when they get packed up. So have we got a TC play coming right? Is that what we're about to see here? Because he's moving out quite aggressively with these deer stones, coupled with the fact that there is the improved movement speed. I reckon this TC is going to get on out of here immediately and head over to the enemy base. Is that stage 2? Or is that phase 2 of how he plays this one out? Town center slowly coming up. He's only got 7 villagers on it, so not really rushing it. And there's still plenty of vills on wood. Is he going for more TCs? How many TCs? Yeah, oh, there we go. There we go. This is to be expected when you have got that early aggression going into the upgrade. And look at the way that he's moving forward with the deer stones. Kind of like a honey badger almost. Just does not care about the enemies that are attacking him. And begins to secure land on this front. One of the ways that you can deny this as a defensive Abbasid player is to look to put down walls. And that's one of the things that I'd be looking out for here. Now, obviously, we've got God vision. We know about this. But the reality is Chuck doesn't know. He doesn't know what's happening, but he does know something. He does know that the deer stones are forward, and he does know that the movement speed for the deer stones has been upgraded. At least you should be able to determine that by the speed. You see that thing flying around with the NOS on the back, the rocket jets. So the correct response is to just get a wall like that, draw it across up here, and just fill in a couple of those walls, and it allows you to prevent that Mongol town center from coming down. Because if the Mongol TC gets down exactly like it's getting down right now, units jump inside, and now you've got yourself a whole bunch of archers doing 6 damage every single shot coming through here. So expect to see, we've got the battering ram, and he's going to be looking to try and defend now. The problem is he doesn't want to defend, he just wants to deny. That's the most important thing. You just want to avoid getting this down, and it's so smart the way that he's using the deer stones. The deer stones are going to solidify this position, so he can just bring the town center up here and take this position, and essentially prevents you from throwing down anything in the meantime. And look at the TC, see it gets blocked out. Battering ram gonna get taken out. Look how fast that damn TC is. You cannot catch it. It is so damn quick. He was trying to get in on top of it. TC still at a pretty damn healthy amount of health. And now Chuck is in trouble. This is not good. If this TC, if he's able to steal away this position here where the deer stones are, and you can see that he packs up, I suspect the TC is gonna unpack and he'll move straight in. Oh, that's a good spot. If you're able to deny the gold as well as the wood, because the problem is, if you park right in on this position here, you're going to be able to hit the wood line. And if you hit the wood line, the defense from Chuck is non-existent, because no wood, no battering rams. No wood, no archers. And that's what you need. Those are the keys to defending against an attack like this. And he does indeed come up. Villagers do evacuate out of here. And we see that he's brought plenty of units up to the front. A whole bunch of archers are in here now, starting to fire off The archery ranges are completely useless. He cannot make units out of these. Villagers go down. He loses one. Those two are going to be stuck in there forever. And now he's training villagers from his forward TC. Going to be looking to utilize the advantage that he's got here on the front line. Maybe gather up a little bit of wood. And you can see the villager advantage that Chuck once had is slowly dwindling. There's only 5 difference between them at the moment. Khan throws up that little... Look at this. The Khan throws up the scouting falcon, and the Townsend are able to spot it out. You can see from Moo's perspective here, he's able to see over the wall here, or over the wood line, and that is going to be terrible because it means that Chuck's going to have to start thinking about moving towards this east corner. And definitely, in the meantime, this is going to work. The problem is that, of course, you're far away from your base, and there's a really good chance that Moo decides he's going to go and attack that position as well. And I guess the other thing to note is if you've got villagers that are over here, and that's 23 villagers, then you don't have 23 villagers in the base. And you've only got 2 landmarks as the Abbasid. So this defense, right now that's going to happen from Chuck, it's going to have to rely on every villager that's in his base, and there's not a lot that are here. He's got a whole bunch that are bundled up in the TC, by the looks of it. Could be, actually, I think that's military units. I'm not 100% sure what he's got in the TC yet. Was military units. So not a lot of villagers here to repair, not a lot of villagers here to take down battering rams. And those are the main things that you want them for if they're not garrisoning in the TC. First battering ram is out, though, for Moo. What an interesting strategy that we get to see here. He's, you know, back in the good old days with the Mongol TC rush, it was all just about getting the TC down and just denying the enemy, you know, any real presence in their base. Whereas here, Moo is using the town center as a very aggressive part of his strategy, but it's not the only part of the strategy. Behind this, he's still making villages. Behind this, he's still got a beautiful economy. He's got plenty of production that's just pumping you out units non-stop. I'm loving it. Now he moves up the TC because obviously he's managed to nullify this wood line, and he's also got the outpost up, which by the way can always go into the arrow slits to reach over onto these onto these trees. And so now he just continues to push up, and this is going to allow him to threaten the landmarks. And we can see double battering ram now coming out as well from Chuck. He's going to try and deal with the deer stones here. Will be successful unless these deer stones do move back. He needs to bring them back. He's got villagers on the front as well. He can always look to repair. But we do expect to see more battering rams coming out for Moo here. That's what I would be looking to get into. I think right now, for Moo, the best play is to just spam as many battering rams as you can. And we can see double battering rams on both sides here now, as these battering rams make their way forward. And have a look at that. Look at what do we got going on right here. We got buildings that have been a little bit aggressive in their place over and over and over again. It's just kind of terraformed the way. Look at this. Can you imagine living in this house? Jeez. Is that even legal? How did you get permission from the council to build that? That does not look legal. I look, at the end of the day, if you've got that good, strong Abbasid engineering, I think you can probably get away with it. There we go. All right. Battering ram. Now going to be looking to take out a lumber camp. Not going to be able to find it. Villagers with their torches out. Will he be able to trade villagers? One Vill goes down. Second Vill down. Third Vill got to go down. Fourth Vill, he'll get it. Fifth Vill could be able to snipe it out. He will find it. Sixth Vill, he's going to get one. Beautiful job right there from Moo, and evens up the villager count. 49 to 48. Tell you what, you got to love that as a Mongol main. That feels good to get those numbers back right there. He's managed to take out 11 so far this game. Town Center, once again, under threat. He's got more villagers here on standby. Needs to be repairing up this TC. Honestly, these vills should have been here repairing the whole time. But I guess, look, worst case scenario, you just run away. Uvu gets depleted. He's going to have to look to move down onto the Dale if he wants to get access to another Uvu. He's got plenty of production back here in the base. Look at the amount of stables he's got down here. Looking to potentially transition into a bit more of a cavalry composition. Market going down here in the corner. Where are the trade posts? Oh my lord, look at the position of the trade posts. They are not the nicest things to see, that is for sure. And now those horsemen are out on the field. We do begin to see the battering rams. So we do have the villagers. Did the villagers just repair up the TC? Villagers need to be doing a little bit more repairing here. This battering ram may go down if he's not careful. Keep in mind, he is getting that nice little bounty bonus as well. Archer numbers looking good. Chuck could be in trouble here as Moo slowly pushes out the Bachelor from the Bachelor pad. He says there's only room on this game show for one of us. And, well, I'm quite large, so it's probably going to be me because you're not going to fit inside. So, but over towards that east corner, villagers, very, very happy. They've got plenty of resources back there, but it's only a matter of time before the horsemen come knocking. And indeed they do. Villagers will be pulled here to repair. Outpost going to get thrown down. He's in a bit of a rush here. Another outpost on the front. This wood line's been completely locked down, but you can see Mu does not have vision of it, so he doesn't know if there's villagers there. Archer's managing to make it behind enemy lines. Take out the scout. Khan going to be coming around as well. He's always got that attack speed arrow in the back pocket if he needs to throw it out. Definitely needs more units on this front line. Needs more units to deal with these battering rams. And now another villager goes down. He's taken out 14 this game. He's got no... He doesn't actually have a villager advantage. Oh, because he's not making vills out of this town center. A little bit of a mistake there. Vills now repairing up the TC. We enter into the cinematic mode as the archers come through. Have they got their extra? A little bit of attack speed. Not quite yet. He needs to pop the arrow. Hit the arrow, baby. Horseman going to go down. Spearman there to deal with it. Town center on fire. Flaming. Through the fire and the flames, the town center carries on as the horsemen make their way through. Villagers need to get to the repair on the TC. Managed to do it. Horsemen now chasing these archers underneath the TC, but the TC slowly firing down. Not a whole bunch of damage coming out from it, but the defense is looking solid. He's going to be able to defend with a combination of the TC and the archers. The question is going to be how much the battering rams can do as he continues to push up towards it. The horsemen now making a decent connection with the archers on the front line, but the micro is wonderful coming out right now from Chuck. He's looking really solid. And all of a sudden, it seems like the Bachelor, who was the big macho guy, not as relevant as the small nerdy guy named Chuck. Wait, no, hold on, no, Chuck is the Chad. Mu is the small little guy. All right, Giga Chad is sorry, Giga Chuck, we should call him. More horsemen coming through. I'm liking this switch for him. But finally, more villagers on the front line. He's able to take advantage of this TC. And you can really see the importance of having plenty of villagers on the front line, because there's 3 different roles that they oh my gosh, a little bit of a stutter right there. 3 different roles that they need to do, the villagers. Number 1 is they need to garrison the TC so that they're firing arrows. Number 2 is they need to repair the TC so that your TC's not dying. And number 3, they need to siege the battering rams down or burn the battering rams down. So they're the 3 roles. So the more villagers you've got, then the easier it is to do those things, because they're all different roles, and in this case, all 5 of these villagers have to do the same thing, or they have all 3 roles that they need to do. Whereas if you take a look from the defender's perspective in Chuck, he can just leave 15 villagers in the TC, he can leave 6 repairing on the backside, and then he can take 10 and go and siege down the battering ram. So it means that there's a lot more flexibility with how he goes about his defense. Compare that to Mu, though, who doesn't really have that opportunity, with a distinct lack of villagers on the front. You can obviously use archers to garrison like he's doing now, but when a big fight breaks out, probably wants those archers down so they can get that extra little bit of attack speed as well. Doing a nice job of picking off the archers. You can hear the classic Abbasid archers screaming. Has the boot camp upgrade as well. So an extra 8, or an extra 10. Extra 10 health. Which is, when you think about it, that's a fair decent chunk of damage, right? Like, +1 ranged attack. We'll take you up to 6. Ranged armor, down to 5. So you're talking about 2 extra shots you're going to need to take out these archers. That's definitely nothing to sniff at. But now pushing forward. Nothing to deal with these battering rams. Look at these battering rams just sitting here, completely uncontested on the town center. This is where we need those villagers on the front line, and villagers now do pop out. He's got 7 of them. But it's going to be too little too late right here, as Mu is again on the defensive. He's just really struggling to get this TC down. It's a beautiful defense coming through from Chuck, and look at the villager count. He's starting to fall in favor. Once again, up 14 villagers in this game. The Khan going to go down. He's popped off that attack speed arrow. He doesn't care that he's lost it. That's all right. It's a free unit. He'll get it back in a little bit. And slowly but steadily, the numbers are getting better and better for Chuck. He's up by about 7 at the moment. We'll check in with Mu back in that main base and see how he's doing. He's got plenty of villagers out here on lots of different resources. Lots of gurs for him as well. He's on 5 gurs at the moment. Still that same amount of production. Just funneling them in towards the front. I feel like in this position, you just want to keep making villagers with this TC, and you just ideally want more villagers at the front. Maybe even up to like 15 or 20 villagers, just so you can repair on the back, just so that you can have those villagers that are garrisoning inside the TC, and just so that you can have villagers to siege down these battering rams. Because right now they come in uncontested. I mean, they are contested slightly, but oh, we got Keshiks joining the battlefield. The first of the Keshiks have finally made it out. He's got to be careful not to lose the villagers that he's got. They're obviously very delicate, not a lot of health on them. And the Keshiks making it onto the field. Probably not the best unit to make, honestly, at the moment. The Keshik, I think the Horseman's actually better, just simply because... What a Chad. What an absolute Chad. I think the Horseman's better, though, because it's cheaper, and it does more damage to the archers. The problem is, you kind of need a lot of them to actually do anything. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's massing them up. He's up to 9 horsemen now, so that's the right call. You can't go in on small numbers with the horsemen, because you need them to do damage. And if you're getting kited the whole time, they're not going to be doing that damage. So you need to go up to I would say probably around 14, 15, and then take this engagement, and you should be able to crush it. And then from there, your horsemen should be able to kill the battering rams. But speaking of battering rams, we've got 3. We've got a little bit of a ram dance coming out. Chuck going to be going into the barracks as well. Utilizing that extra movement speed from the deer stones. They do still sit up here. Take a look at this. Moo being very aggressive. I don't even think Chuck realizes, or maybe just doesn't care. But you could take this one out for free right now. On that south side, though. We do hear walls being deleted behind the scenes or something. Might be lumber camps or something. No, it doesn't really make sense to delete lumber camps. Not as the Abbasid. I guess it's probably just walls that are being deleted. I don't know why you'd delete walls. So that was a real delete as well. We heard it go through. I'm not sure what the reason was. He's got resources to throw down another town center if he wants to. I just don't know whether it's worth it at the moment. Has picked up the cheaper villages. He's going to start pushing out. Needs to look for a flank from the top with the cavalry. Let's see if he finds it. Chuck now starting to push in. Khan is here. Can provide that attack speed. And there's the flank from the north side. Exactly what we needed right now. Beautiful surround by Moo. There are spears here that are going to try and look to take in as much of this on the front. But the archers are slowly getting picked apart, and you can see the cavalry numbers looking really good here. The problem was that he doesn't have the movement speed down here. There's no movement speed that he's got right now. He needs to come into range for the deer stones and then finally gets it. Unfortunately, those spearmen came in at the perfect time right there. Villagers going to be able to siege down or burn down those battering rams. Doing a wonderful job. Able to pick off the enemy villagers as well. Needs to be careful not to lose his own. But still, at the moment, holding. And I gotta say, I do like the micro that we're seeing from Chuck here. The fact that he's got this line formation is really setting the difference in these fights. The reason why the line formation is superior to the standard formation is because if you're running a line formation, you have more units that are firing every single engagement compared to these units, which are they're all blocked together. And so it means that if only your front row are firing, that your back row, well, they're not firing. And as a result, there's no damage that's coming out. So you always want to try and run that line formation in these fights. Try and keep them as tight and compact as you can. Really easy to micro and make sure you can kite out those horsemen. But we'll bring the UI back in so we can take a look at the economies. Moo down 20 villages. Chuck up 20 villages sitting on 85 at the moment. And that's definitely a game-winning position. If you can hold out from that economic perspective, you'll be absolutely fine. But we start to see a few more numbers beginning to rise for Moo on the front line with that villager count. He's up to 8 vills on the front. A little bit of Keshiks thrown in as well. A little bit of Monica in my life. Mumbo number 5, I tell you what a classic. But look at the spearmen running through, looking to try and break in on that front defensive line. Getting picked off to pieces, though. He's got to be careful. Deer stones. No, that's a Gur. Look at the Gur baiting it out right now. He says, oh my God, that Gur. That poor Gur got eaten alive. Jeez, that went down quickly, didn't it? But speaking of going down right now, battering ram. And I just realized we're 23 minutes through this game, and it is non-stop action. It is just feudal fights. It is an incredible strategy coming out from Moo. And I will just remark, Moo's a very good player. For anybody who doesn't know, he's currently sitting inside the top 100. Chuck also. These guys are top-level players. So what we're witnessing right now is not just some Gold League strategy. This is a real, genuine, bona fide, electrified monorail. Come on. How many people got that reference right there? I reckon that's probably like a 97% scorecard on that reference right there. I reckon every single one of you guys, except for the 3% who didn't, got that reference. That's a good reference. It's a Simpsons reference. One of the best Simpsons episodes as well. They get fleeced by this guy for a monorail. Simpson. How good is that song? I'm trying to think. How does it start? Oh gosh. How does the monorail song start? Dun 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 dun. Oh, I'm gonna have to Google it after. I'm gonna have to Google it after. Monorail. Monorail. What? Landmark? Oh, he lost the deer stones. Okay. At first I was confused. Landmark victory approaching? Did we miss a couple of battering rams going in here? No, sorry, Bob, we did not. Now, the other thing to note is, why doesn't Moo go for more TCs? I feel like he probably could do it, right? Like, you could push forward with TCs. If you had TCs, villagers, and archers, that's all you need to win this. I feel like he's trying to reinvent the wheel here. This has been done before, Moo. Well, to be honest, this kind of strategy hasn't. It is, it's a little bit different. Villager taking out vills, or rather town center taking out vills. Battering rams coming in from the south. We're going to enter into the cinematic mode. The military numbers are pretty even at the moment. Chuck with a little advantage, about 10 to 12 advantage. Horsemen are in play, though. Keep that in mind. Spearmen He's got to be careful. No real flanking opportunity for him. He moves right up to the town center and knocks on the door. He says, is anybody home? Indeed, plenty of people are home. And look at the skewers that are coming through right now. I feel like I'm eating shish kebabs. Oh my lord, that was terrible. Huge amount of skewers coming in. Horsemen, unfortunately, getting evaporated. Attack speed arrow is going to be going through, helping out those archers, but it looks like Chuck is going to be the Giga Chad today. It looks like the Bachelorette Palace is going to be the Pink Panther inside of it. It is going to be Chuck taking this one out for now, I say. Oh, my lord. Hold your horses. Hold your horses, homies. Villagers getting pulled. Oh, God. He's doing the Don. He's doing the Don. It is villagers coming out from nowhere. Look at the amount of villagers he's got here. It looks like he's got the upgrades as well. You can see just how many shots they're going to take to go down. More spearmen joining the fray. Pumping out units non-stop towards this central location. He's going to be able to chase back his opponent away from this. And we can see the Khan in here as well. Just teeing off towards the enemy. More archers joining in. He needs to take out this town center. He's going. He's trying his hardest to do it. If he can hit the town center and take it out, and look at the TC. The battering rams just can never catch it. And look at the amount of terraforming that's been going on here. It's just non-stop terraforming. TC's up. Vils go inside. He wants to try and defend it as best that he can. Unfortunately, the battering rams just keep on chasing him. He's doing a decent job of just cutting them out. Could actually find a pick off right here on the battering rams. Villagers moving up. And keep in mind, the villager count for Chuck is significantly in favor. So but every villager kill he gets here, he's just pushing himself even further ahead. Battering ram now, sitting on a very low amount of health. And it's good game. It is good game. Chuck victorious here over Moo. An incredible game that we get to witness. Fellas, I hope you guys enjoyed this casted game. Make sure you check out the Sultan's Ascend expansion pack. I was going to call it DLC. It's not. There's 6 civs that are coming. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment where you can go and catch it on Steam. Thank you so much for watching.